The protests. I'm not really interested in like protesting, but I really want to know why people are here. I think it's really important to get their message out.
All right, I'm going to record you recording me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Channel 7 wouldn't do that for me one day because they wanted to have a word with me, and they said we don't want to. We don't. It's not our policy to have you recording us.
Oh. We don't even have any policies yet.
Yeah. Personally, me, like my YouTube channel is actually called The Devil's Advocate, right? Yeah. Now, what do you do if you're being the devil's advocate?
You're
trying to insert a different point of view.
Well, you're arguing for the point of the opposition, whoever that may be, I suppose. Against it was someone.
Oh, I wouldn't say.
I think the original thing was like with the church. It was supposed to be that someone it's when a saint is being beatified. They it's something to do with that. The saint's being beatified thing. So the devil's advocate basically makes an argument for the devil, like why this person shouldn't be a saint. That's originally what it's for. But
not that I'm worried about the devil, but
yeah,
to be the point of playing the devil's advocate would be to give you a different point of view.
Yeah.
Right, and I try to do that where I go.
Yeah.
I can understand what these people are doing in principle, because if you've done the research, which I'm not sure whether you have, how many doctors are actually being censored from the mainstream media?
I don't know.
How many? there's a site called the Great Barrington Declaration, right? Yeah. Now, on that site, there are 50,000 medical practitioners, scientists, and epidemiologists, I think they call them.
Yeah.
Is that it? So there's 50,000 there being censored straight away. Not to mention as soon as you mention the word ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, you get censored as well, because that doesn't go along with the CDC or the WHO or what do they call it here, the TGA? Yeah. Therapeutical Goods Association.
And is that why you're down here today? Is it like, what got you interested in all this stuff in the first place? Was it
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a camera. I mean, I just saw footage of this happening in Melbourne. Yeah. And I just saw the footage of the police holding three police holding one bloke down, and the fourth one came up and kicked him in the face. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. So is that why you're down here, because you're sort of protesting police brutality, or are you?
Well, I'm I'm gathering news. Yeah. Because I've got a YouTube channel. Yeah. Same as you. Yeah. Like apparently, from what I was down New Farm Park yesterday exercising, as you do. You need a reasonable excuse to leave. But apart from that, exercising is one. Yeah. I'd imagine you'd be exercising while you're doing this.
No, I'm not exercising. I'm working.
Well, you're sweating like a pig.
I am so sweaty. I'm the sweatiest person.
Maybe you should take your jacket off, probably for starters.
I was going to, but it's sort of like I feel like some of the coppers are already eyeing me. I've already been ID'd heaps of times, so I feel like it's kind of like the uniform. It keeps us like it looks more professional. I noticed the other news people hadn't taken their jackets off. I was just about to do it, and then I saw they were all still wearing theirs, so I thought it better be like consistent. Well,
they'll probably just go back to their car in their air-conditioned car and start it up.
We drove back in their
and not care about global warming and have all these gases coming out of their car.
Yeah. So what was your so you have a YouTube channel. Like what first got you into coming to protests and
freedom of speech? As soon as I saw there was a suppression of freedom of speech or expression.
No, I'm not talking about this particular event, but I mean like in general. Like what was your first? What set you down this path, kind of thing? Do you think?
Soon as you start researching alternative media than the mainstream media, and you find out that they're reporting a slightly different angle to it. Yeah.
Sorry, do you mind if we can
go in the shade?
And the roads here, I've noticed that we're getting problems with our audio with the road noise. Yeah. So
and here come the police. Wait for it. Got to keep 1.5 apart. All right, recording again?
Yeah, with the people in the background pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right. It doesn't matter. They can come up and say hello for all I care.
I didn't even ask your name. What's your name?
My name's Ross.
Ross, I'm Conrad. I'm with News 4000. That's our new channel. We started off as we wanted to just do a quick YouTube video about one protest, and now I think we're going to a full-blown documentary. Yeah. So
there's plenty of you'll find plenty of data.
Yeah.
Do the data on like to be honest, if you're being sort of like the devil's advocate, you're researching both sides of the fence. You're not just going, I believe this.
Yeah, what I'm really interested in, and what I think as I've been going along, what I think I'm going to angle at is what I'm really interested in is people's personal stories. Like, so I want to know. Like, I spoke to one lady, and her motivation was she was worried about her kids, and she was an old lady, and she was worried about her kids and the future generations and stuff. And that seems like a powerful motivator for a lot of people. Is that something that's motivating you? Like, what is motivating you personally to come down here? Because, like, I mean, for example, lots of people were, sorry.
Because he's too close.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, for example, lots of people were down when we drove in. Lots of people were lining up in cars around the block to get tested, right? So, like, why are you protesting here and not doing what most people are doing, and which is, you know, getting tested and staying home and stuff? What's different about your motivations to those kind of people?
All right, let's look at some figures.
Yeah.
Now, how many people have died that you know of COVID-19, even though this Delta virus is a lot more contagious?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be killing as many people. How many people have died of COVID since before January this year? Do you know that figure?
Personally, the only person I know who I had a friend who's in America, and his whole family died in India. He was just an internet friend. I played video games with him, and
How you going, bud?
G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, so like that's the only person that I know. I don't even really know them. It's just a friend's family who died in India.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't really know anyone in Australia.
All right. Now, from my understanding, when I last talked to a bloke called Milton Dick, who was a member of Federal Parliament, on my YouTube channel, when I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, I asked him that same question. He goes, lots.
Yeah.
Well, I'd already done the research and I knew the answer, and I went, 2.
Yeah.
Now, is 2 a lots? Now, 2 is not a lot. Since January this year, which is now, what, August now? But back then it was 2. Now I think it's up to about 10, maybe. Now, if you look at the statistics of that, and you've got a population of 25 million people, and there are a lot of people getting the virus, but there are not as many dying now. So I believe that we may have achieved, now this is only my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but I think we may have already achieved some sort of herd immunity. So why do they keep pushing the vaccine? Are the politicians and doctors and the health professionals, are they not looking at these statistics?
Yeah. And why do you think that they're pushing this? I mean, I think I don't describe it as a narrative, but, you know, why are they pushing? Why are they doing that? What is the?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Thank
you.
You.
I don't have the answer for that, but I can summarise, and like you start thinking about it, you use logic, you use common sense, and you summarise an answer that could possibly fit. This is what police do when they go to investigate a crime. They put all the evidence together, right? And if some evidence doesn't fit, they go, well, that's not the scenario, right? So they formulate another scenario. Now, what scenarios do fit where they're not listening to this other medical advice from these, shall we say, censored medical experts, like 50,000 of them. Like there's been doctors literally standing on Capitol Hill in America, and this is 6 months ago. They were standing there, Dr. Simone Gold, I think her name was. It's probably a Jew, but who gives a shit? She's a doctor, and she's sitting there saying ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, I think she was going for, it has good results against the vaccine. But yet that video was up for no more than 2 hours, and it had 1 million views or something in 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it comes down. So why is she being censored? Why didn't the mainstream medical professionals come up and debate her with facts?
So why? So why are they? So that's the question I want to know. Like, what? So why do you think that they're doing that? Why are they doing this? What's their reason for doing it?
I can surmise, but of course I would just sound like a conspiracy theorist, wouldn't I?
I mean, yeah, maybe, but like, I mean, is that, what do you believe? Like, this is the kind of stuff like I think that a lot of people are not. It's hard to find out because you can't hear people's opinions on the news. You're not allowed to say this kind of stuff, and I don't.
Yeah, that's right. So if I say something like that, you might get sanctioned again.
I don't give a shit about being censored. I really don't. I'm doing this. If I get censored, I get censored, but I still need to ask the kind of questions.
Well, when I asked Milton Dick, this one of them said 2, and he goes, oh, lots, and I said 2. He goes, any death is a bad death, isn't it? And I think I mentioned something about so many people dying from so many other different diseases and so on. Then the next question I asked him was how many people died after having had the vaccine.
Yeah.
Right, now, straight away, he went all aggressive, terminated the interview,
Yeah.
told me he's going to call the police and so on.
Yeah.
Now, he's a public official. He was in a public shopping centre,
Yeah.
and he should be able to answer questions from the public.
Yeah.
So
why
if
is
the
he not-
politicians are hiding something, if the politicians...
Why are they hiding stuff?
Yes, why?
Yeah.
See, logically, you'd go, well, if they're hiding something, what are they hiding? So
Yeah.
you go back in history and see what the similarities are in history that correlate with today. Now, then you might learn something. You might have a better scenario
Yeah.
of why things are happening, but you don't have all the evidence to go, bang, slam, you're guilty of this, because you don't have all the evidence. Neither do I, and everyone else needs to start doing their own research and looking at the similarities, because history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
So-
1930s, you had Hitler with his propaganda and the control of the narrative.
Yeah.
In the 1950s, you had China
Yeah.
with their Cultural Revolution, with their propaganda and the control of the narrative.
Yeah.
So what are the politicians doing now?
Yeah.
They've got control of the media and they're controlling the narrative.
Yeah. And so what does
Right.
it mean next? What do you think is going to happen now?
Well, it's only going to get worse. Like anyone that thinks, oh,
What's going to get worse? What do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to actually mandate vaccines and virtually hold us down to give us a needle.
Yeah.
If not, they'll go, oh, you can't get
Yeah.
unemployment, you can't go to work, you can't catch a train, you can't catch a bus, you can't do this. France is doing that now, aren't they? Aren't they bringing in a passport vaccine passport?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I haven't been.
mate,
I was so.
you don't have to be in France. You can actually look it up on the internet.
Yeah. So like, once again, ask again. Why? Why are they doing this? Why do you think that they're doing this?
Well, history will tell you most reasons they do anything is for power and money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that what history would teach us?
Yeah.
Okay, take another step back.
Oh, sorry.
Because you're getting too close to my cat. Not that I'm scared of the vaccine, because
I'm leaning forward. I got
apparently this vaccine has a 99.99 recovery rate.
Yeah, I
recovery
haven't
rate.
been vaccinated yet, so.
Well, I haven't been vaccinated,
Yeah.
mate. I've probably got a cold and I get a seasonal, what do they call it when you're pollen thing,
Yeah.
allergy.
Yeah.
I get that every summer and every winter.
Yeah.
I sneeze a couple of times, I have a bit of runny nose. Next couple of days, it's all good.
Yeah.
But if anyone looked at me now, they go, "Oh, you got COVID." Mate, fuck off. You have to cut that out.
Oh no, that's right. That's some fucks. I got you there. Fuck. I don't know how many fucks are allowed. Probably one. You're allowed one, I think, on most programs.
Yeah.
Well, you can have your fuck. We'll give you one. All right. I think we'll go. I'm gonna go have a look and see what else is going on. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, I mean, if we're gonna meet up again, I'd love to do another interview in the future and see how you're going. And
maybe you should do some research so you can give me your evaluation of what you think might be happening.
Okay.
Because you can only speculate, because we don't know all the facts, do we?
No.
So once you do some research,
Yeah.
then might be able to speculate to me what you think is happening.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's kind of not the vibe I'm trying to go for, but you know, I do need to look into stuff more. Like, you know, I haven't really. I've just, once again, I really just started. I'm pretty unprofessional.
Even Michael Moore does a documentary. He's trying to present a sort of unbiased but a narrative. He's still producing a narrative.
I think my narrative, what I really want, I want to know about people's personal stories. That's what I'm really interested in. I want to know what people are doing, like personally, why they're coming out and what their motivations are and stuff like that. I think that's what interests me. That's why I'm doing it. That's why when I started doing this, I was like, oh, I just wanted to go and talk to people and maybe get some funny clips and stuff. But it's morphed into this. I'm really interested in learning about people and they're very, because there's just as many people, there are as many motivations, and it's really interesting. I think, and I can't see this stuff anywhere. I can't see it anywhere, you know. And I really
you mean the reality of what you see around doesn't match the propaganda they're giving you on the TV?
I think so. Yeah. I think they're just selecting stories and things that are less about the people, and it sort of seems like, you know, there's a lot of videos of people being arrested and punching horses and stuff, but you know,
once you watch the video of that, you know it's fake.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, so that's the message that you hear, and I want to know about the person in the background of that, like standing there watching that happen, what they thought, and why they came down there, and why are we here today? Like, why am I here today? Like, that's what I really want to know. Like, I'm
more for a solution.
Yeah.
So I'd like to negotiate and discuss a solution, not just discuss the problem.
Yeah.
But how about we start discussing what the solution might be?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I don't think that's my angle. I don't know what the solution is. I really couldn't tell you.
Well, the system's broken, isn't it?
I think most people would have some aspect of the system that they don't like. You know, I think most people would have it.
Give up.
Give up. It's the end of the world.
I'm not going to give up. I don't give up.
I mean, give up, and then just, well, it's going to be here anyway, the virus, so just go back to normal.
Yeah, but it's still, it's 99.9% recovery rate.
That's what I mean, give up, just go back to normal.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry. Thank you for your time. We're gonna run over and let's do some more.
Cheers. What was your name again?
Conrad.
Conrad. Cheers.
Shake people's hands. Keep forgetting. Sorry.
2.
Well, mate, it's for your safety and mine, so yeah.
I don't necessarily say that, but
Yeah, it's what I do.
my name is Ross Pittman. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm here
How you do?
killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm gathering news
Yep.
and a little bit of exercise in the meantime because I have to walk around to do this. What's the order of the day?
Sorry.
What's the orders of the day?
In what way, sir?
Well, there seems to be quite a large number of
Well, as
police
you can
here.
see from the gathering, they're in breach of the chose direction, okay, which says that if they're here for exercise, they can only exercise with one other person, okay, is what it says, and they're obviously not just with one other person.
So if you
Sorry, sir, still going. Chose direction also says that they can only exercise within 10 kilometres of their principal place of residence. So we're here to ascertain, firstly, that they're with immediate members of their family. If they're not, they are in breach of the chose direction. They leave themselves liable to penalty, fine, or direction out. If they're exercising outside of the 10 kilometres, they leave themselves liable to the same things.
Okay, do you think that'll hold up in court?
Well, that's not a matter for me, sir.
So-
What's a matter for me is the enforcement of the chose direction during the lockdown period.
I like the way you worded that. What is it? The enclosed
Well,
direction.
The chief health officer made a direction.
Oh,
okay?
direction. Okay.
Yes. So as authorised officers under the Public Health Act, we're here to enforce those provisions.
So all of you have been authorised?
Everyone here is an authorised officer under the Public Health
Okay.
Act.
So what sort of learning did they have to go through to get that?
Well, sir, I'm not here to engage with you about it, okay? That's not what this is for. We're here to enforce the laws, okay? That's what we're here for.
Enforce laws.
These
Okay.
people are in breach, okay, of the requirements of the Public Health Act and the direction of the Chief Health Officer. We're here to make the necessary checks and to enforce those provisions.
All right.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
Well, that'll do. You're going, bud. Haven't I seen you before?
Mate, I get around a lot.
Yeah, so whilst you're not exercising, you should put a mask on, okay?
I have an exemption, thank you very much.
Okay. Are you in possession of your exemption?
I am.
Can I have a look at it?
You may. Don't touch it.
Just hold it up for me, that's fine.
They've already been through this process in the city.
That's okay.
This is feeling like 1930s papers, please.
There you go. Just this time it's not papers, it's exemption, isn't it?
But don't you read history?
I do.
Mate, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes pretty close. Alright, that's my paperwork. There's my papers, officer.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, I'll just get a number of these. Hang on. So, just to me, it looks a bit uneven, you know, like probably half a dozen of us here would be enough. What, you're actually scared these people are going to bash us or something? You know, realistically.
We're here to do our job.
Mate, if you was...
Go home to our families.
You ever heard of a bloke called Bill Heffernan?
No, it's familiar, it's close.
He used to be a politician. I don't know if he's still in there. But there's a video of him on YouTube where he literally holds up a document. He's in Parliament and he's saying, why did John Howard seal this document with the names of, I think it was 28 pedophiles, where the federal police and the New South Wales State Police stopped cooperating with each other to investigate this pedophile ring. And then John Howard sealed the document because one of the names on it was an ex-Prime Minister. There's a couple of names of magistrates or judges of some sort. There's quite a lot of high-profile people on there. I think that this many police and the amount of hours you put in could investigate that, couldn't you? But you know, you don't have to answer that, and I know you're not allowed to have an opinion while you're working. But I think that would be a better use of police time. And of course, I can just talk because you don't have to answer anything. You're not allowed to have an opinion.
No.
I've almost got a captive audience.
Not that I'm not
makes me
without
laugh.
opinion.
Yeah, not while you're on job.
Well, I'm taking a bit.
I mean,
Have you spoken to, like, have you sent correspondence off to the Minister for Police and anything like that? So, hey, here's a suggestion.
they're a waste of breath, mate.
I'm sure they are, don't get me wrong.
They're in it together. You know, like, here's what I try to put the seed into people. For one, I try to talk to these people and say, mate, get a YouTube channel so that you can walk around and do this sort of thing and engage with the people that matter. Like use literally the piggy in the middle between the politicians.
Pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Sorry, I didn't even mean to say that. You're between the politicians who are making these stringent lockdown laws, and these people here will turn around and go, hang on, this virus has only got a 99.99% recovery rate, so it's only killing 0.0003% of the population. Why is it this much fucking regulation for it? Honestly, common sense doesn't prevail. Like, that's the problem with common sense. It's not real common, is it?
These days. But, we're governed by medical officers, so that's why we do what we do.
No, you're governed by the regulations that you've sworn an oath to uphold, so on and so on. So now the oath is to be impartial.
Trying to be.
What is your oath, actually? Like, I've read it several times. I've looked it up, but it says something about to not show favour. So if someone gives you new information, and like say the 99.99% recovery rate for this virus, and that might be a new information to you. So you know that? Yeah. Right? So you know the death rate is only, in the Australian population, the fact that vitamin D is good for the virus. Have you ever heard of ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine? Right, now there are literally 50,000, there's a site on the internet, obviously not on YouTube or Facebook, otherwise it gets censored to the shit. There's a site there that literally says, there's literally 50,000, it's got 100,000 signatures, but 50,000 of them are doctors, epidemiologists or scientists. Right? Now they go to YouTube or Facebook, they get censored to the crack, but yet they say there's different ways of handling this COVID situation. But our Queensland health expert, who gets $500,000 a year or something like that, something ridiculous, and her pay doesn't go down when she closes down all these business, does it? Maybe she should be on a percentage of what the way the situation works. Maybe she might have a different outlook if her pay got affected. Because your pay doesn't get affected. My pay, I'm on a pension, my pay doesn't get affected. But I can feel for anyone else who may have a hairdresser's or may have a gym or may have other things.
And we certainly feel for them too. That's human beings.
Yeah, but by issuing, don't the police have what they call discretionary authority?
Mate, do you live around here?
Yeah, I do, thanks.
Where do you live, sir?
967 Brunswick Street, thanks.
Oh, righto. Mate, are you out exercising?
I'm exercising and gathering news.
Do you have a mask?
No, I have an exemption.
Where's your exemption, mate?
I just showed it to the other sergeant.
Have you seen it?
Side of it?
Righto. So exemption from it, so you're exercising? So
I'm exercising and gathering news.
Well, you need to exercise, mate, because there's a stay-at-home order from the health thingo, so can you please walk home, mate?
See that building across there, mate?
Yep, that's closed.
That's the address.
Where you live?
Where I live.
I personally know no one lives there, mate. I'm an ex-belly detective, and I know that there's an order that no one lives there. So, at the moment, you're breaching...
I'm itinerant.
Hey?
I'm itinerant, and I'm an Australian
You're
sovereign.
itinerant, but you just told me you lived up... gave me address before, mate.
I gave you... what's the address?
Oh, you've told me this address.
That address is where
okay, mate,
I need to have my phones contacted.
So, what paperwork have you got, mate? Have you got any ID or whatsoever?
Oh, no, you've seen this. You've verified that.
Mate? Have you got iPad? We can just confirm this, gentleman.
You're recording, aren't you?
Yes, mate.
Okay. What's your name and number?
I'm Malcolm, registered 19577. Okay, so all we're asking you to do, mate, is move on them.
Is that enough? You have gloves. If you don't have gloves on, I wouldn't let you touch
967 Brunswick Street, is that here?
That's the address, yes. Because when I've been itinerant for 20 years.
Yeah. All good,
right.
mate. I'm not here to argue with you, mate. I'm just trying to here to keep people safe, mate.
I'm here gathering news about what's happening, trying to get both sides of this situation.
100%, mate. And we're just here trying to protect the community.
Protect the community, mate.
Yeah.
How about you protect us from the freaking politicians? I'm trying to get both sides of the point of view here, because my YouTube channel is called The Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing if you're being the Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
You're giving different points of view.
Yep.
Right, now, I'll listen to your point of view, but your point of view just sounds like it's a political point of view.
Well, we're working under direction from the Health Act. So.
To me, I'm actually curious as to whether or not you're actually enforcing the law or enforcing political will.
in our perspective.
Have you got any other? Do you have a license or anything, mate?
Yeah, I do, but that's good enough, isn't it?
No, I think
That's a legal government document.
Is it? Have you got anything else with you? Confirm your name on it?
I got my licence
Yeah, that'd be better.
somewhere. Alright, because you don't have gloves on, I'm going to ask you not to touch this one. Because if he's asked serious about it, then obviously you should be understanding.
I don't need to wear gloves, though, but anyway, I don't need that.
Well, he just said he doesn't need that.
Is it the same address on there and there,
Yeah.
mate?
Well, like I said, I've been itinerant for 20 years, mate.
Yeah, that's all good.
When I
mate.
first started doing this,
Yeah.
the police said I have to have an address, and I went, no, I don't. I'm sovereign.
Yeah.
They said, no, you have to have an address for us to send any correspondence to.
Right.
I gave them this address, they accepted it,
Yep.
and it's been good ever since.
Mate, like I said, I worked in the valley, and we don't accept that as an address because that's like every second person in the valley provides that. But I'm happy for you to have that on your license and stuff like that. That's not a legal fight I'm going to have with you. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all about splitting hairs, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, I've done the minimum I need to make the government happy.
Righto.
Because the government's not making a lot of people happy right now.
Yep.
But yet, no, there doesn't seem to be any sort of accountability. Politicians hide from me when I pull this thing out. They literally fucking go make an appointment at the office. Since when do they ever answer their fucking phone calls, wankers?
So what are you going to do now, bud? What are you going to do now? Where are we headed with this?
I might walk around. I don't know.
Do some exercise.
Do some
In the
exercise, yeah.
sun. They said it's good for
Vitamin D is actually good for this COVID virus. I can't call it a pandemic because realistically, I don't see the people dying in the street. The reality doesn't match the narrative of what the government's trying to tell us. You know? Literally, if I saw 1% of the global population dying, which let's talk about real statistics and facts, that's 75 million people.
I don't want to talk politics now. I'm not talking politics now. Simple as that. So you may have your views. I'm not entering into the discussion. Full stop.
No worries, mate. You just do your job then. Do it without bias and prejudice or favour. If I give you sentences that go along the logic of the law, then I suggest you would follow that, wouldn't you? Tax dollars at work. Oh, there's a news crew. Well, not anti-vax, pro-choice. You sick of the lockdowns? No? You're trying to what? So you're on a news camera? Yeah, I'm not going any further, mate. I want to talk to these guys. So what channel are these guys?
What channel are you, mate?
My name's Ross. I've got a YouTube channel called The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I'm just checking out what yous are doing, like hyping up this bullshit.
Cool.
You know, for a virus that has 99.9% recovery rate. You know, I want to see both sides of the story actually debated. Do you? No, because you're probably just getting paid. Just getting paid to hype it up, aren't you? Is that? Take as many pictures as you want, mate. I've got you.
Yeah, cool, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Free. It's called free speech and free press.
Cool. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure the editing of your editor, and I sort of don't half blame you, it's the editor that actually should be found guilty. Hey, did you touch me?
I'll give you a hug in
But, I reckon the amount of people that probably did show, there would have been a ratio of 1 to 1. 1 cop for every person that showed. And this slime ball's over here, Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10, whoever they are. I mean, he's a big guy. I couldn't play with him. Is this dog supposed to have a mask? I'm joking, mate. I'm joking. Your dog doesn't have to wear a mask.
Are you getting arrested?
I'm on a YouTube channel. I'm recording for a YouTube channel. On exercise, and plus my address that I live here is actually right across the road. The fact that I live in a bus and it's 10 kilometres away means nothing. It's actually 9.1 kilometres away, my bus, but that's got nothing to do with these guys. I just had a bit of a discussion with a guy who works at the Valley police station. He knows that address. He goes, mate, no one lives there. And I go, well, I know that. I said, but I've been itinerant for 20 years. So I had to have an address somewhere. He didn't ask where the bus was, so I didn't answer. Oh yes, mate, dangerous criminals. $1930s 2.0. 1950s 2.0. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes a lot, doesn't it? Hey? History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes a lot. Channel 7. Oh, well. What's your narrative, mate? Still following the government directions? Just getting paid?
Covering what we have to cover.
Just doing your job?
Like many people.
1930s 2.0. You do know that's how the Germans and the division was. They've got more details. They want to split hairs, mate. I'll split hairs all fucking day. I'll take it to court and split the hairs. You can't beat logic. Even though the court system is rigged and corrupt, same as a lot of politicians, a lot of news crews. I won't say a lot of police, but I'm sure there are some. Because I don't want to upset them too much, do we? Hey? Hey? Hey, he's picking a fight unless you can win it. But then you'd be a coward. Hey? Pick a fight you can't win and maybe do it on principle. Is that something? Is that a word you guys still understand? What about integrity? Really? I find that hard to believe, mate. Actually, to be honest. I've been watching Channel 7, Channel 10, Channel 2, SBS, all of them. They just follow the narrative.
Which one of my stories was your favourite?
You'd have to give me your name first so that I can look it up and see who's presented.